Hey everybody, this is Bruce Lee Money from Thermal and a Quarter. Welcome to another episode of Song Stories, where we talk about why we wrote the songs we did. Today we'll talk about the song Words and Pictures from the album This Is It. You know, the one with the appetizing cockroach on the cover. Let's start with the question. Does an instrument make you play or write differently? It definitely is true for me, and I must introduce you here to this lovely little classical guitar. Now this guitar was a gift. It was given to me by a complete stranger way back in 2001. We used to run a small music shop on MG Road in Bangalore, and a chap walks in one day with a couple of guitars. One of them is a Yamaha acoustic that needs a bit of a setup, and I help him with that. Then he pulls this one out and says, would you like to have it? And so I ask him, well, are you looking to sell it? How much do you want for it? And he says, no, I want you to have it. And I'm quite taken aback, and I say, why? And he goes, well, I bought a cassette recently, and you're playing on that, and I like some of the stuff you're doing. I'm not using this guitar, and I'd like you to have it. So, well, it was a sweet-sounding little classical, and so I didn't say no. I said thank you. I took his name and number down. His name was Len Saldana. I've never seen him again. If you're out there, Len, and watching this, or if someone out there knows him, thank you one more time. Because I must say that this guitar makes me play differently. It has brought out some very singular, very unusual ideas, something that I've not found coming from other instruments that I own. And Words and Pictures is one of them. One of the key musical ideas in the song is what's played behind the verse, and that goes something like this. When I look back at it, this is quite unusual for me to have written at the time. We were working on songs for both Plan B and This Is It around 2004, 2005. And a lot of that music is very riff and groove and funk rhythm driven. So something as textural and obtuse as this is really quite distinctive for me. And I would give full credit to that wonderful little classical guitar that this idea came to me on. And I remember distinctly picking it up, noodling for a bit, and then having this fully formed idea just sort of germinate on the spot. I have no explanation, but once again, thank you. Another aspect of the song that is a good story is how the lyrics were written. It's actually the first song and first and only song that I have co-written with my wife Bindu. And I remember writing the first line down and asking her if she'd like to, contribute every alternate line. And that's how the song got written. It took, I think, just a couple of hours, and we had, whispers in my head. And she said, like autumn leaves, something is said, silently weaves, words in a story nobody wrote. Can anyone hear me? Do I have to shout? That whole thing is reflected in the way we recorded the song as well, because if you notice, it's a duet. It's both Rudy and me singing alternate lines throughout the song, both of us handling lead vocal duties in that sense. So it is a kind of conversation in many ways. Speaking more about the words, there's another Cat Stevens reference buried in the chorus. For the sharp-eared, which goes, the chorus is two lines. Words and pictures, simple shackles, do we have to hold on so tight? And then feel it, taste it, love it, leave it. In the end, it's all into white, which will always be a favorite Cat Stevens composition. It was also really fun writing the bridge sections, which are in 4/4. Afterwards. This was definitely influenced by the bands I was listening to back then. I was very much into Yes and CSNY and America, and they used a lot of these kind of really catchy, singable harmonies, and it seemed to be a fun thing to do in between, this weird 5/4. The guitar lick that comes immediately after the do-do-do-do parts is also interesting to me because I think it was inspired by fusion music, listening to violin players like L. Shankar and L. Subramaniam, Shakti and so on. To talk about the solo that closes out the song, well, I was listening to a bunch of Pat Metheny at the time, also bands like Yes and so on. And with Metheny, desperately trying to figure out how he managed to be so fluid and fleet-fingered and melodic all at the same time. And some of Steve Howe's incredible phrasing, those liquid lines that he played across some of those really cool compositions of Yes. I guess those were my influences when I wrote the solo. And trying to cop licks from these guys is never easy, and so you do the best you can. But it's a nice solo for me to play, and I try and replicate it pretty much as it is on the recording when we play it live. So if you'd like to listen to the song, it is, of course, there's a link in the description box below along with the words if you want to get into that. The song is also available on iTunes and Spotify and every other streaming service out there. So go listen. Thanks for watching. Let's do the solo.